The harsh reality is that most educated people remain poor. They may seem to live a decent life in public, but what they portray is a lie. In actuality, they suffer the most. Because rich people use them as their slaves, by hiring them for work with only enough pay to help them cater for next month's bills. Documentaries have been made all over the internet showcasing how 40-year-old white-collar professionals with even PhDs are struggling to pay day-to-day bills. In contrast, the other reality is shown: university and high school dropouts building million-dollar empires by earning more and more, whereas so-called highly educated people end up being employees of these uneducated folks. A prime example of this is Bill Gates, who has $80 billion in net worth. He famously said, and I quote, "I failed some subjects in the exam, but my friend passed in all." Now he is an engineer in Microsoft, and I'm the owner of Microsoft. Most entrepreneurs feel that the education system is wrong, and they drop out of school for their own self-study like Gates. However, this reality highly contradicts with what most of us were taught as kids. What we were taught, I would say, is the biggest scam over the past century and is vibrant till date. There are all sorts of scam artists in the world. Most of the time we can spot them, like those emails that promise us millions if we'll just give away our bank account numbers. Sometimes we don't spot them until it's too late or they make a mistake, like with Bernie Madoff. And sometimes we don't know we're being scammed at all because we're conditioned to think from the start that the system is the best strategy for living. And this is where I would categorize formal education. Here are a few reasons that make a major percent of highly educated people poor. 1. Poor financial education. I personally went to school to be an accountant and got straight A's. However, my grades did not translate to practical financial education. I learned what was needed to do a job, but not how to successfully manage my own finances. And yet, I went to a business school to learn about money. People often say they learned about money in school. You may learn how to balance a checkbook in school, but you won't learn how money really works. How it can be leveraged to create huge amounts of wealth. That's not an accident, it's a scam. The rich use school to train us to be good employees. We start out being told what to do and are rewarded for compliance. So, it is very easy to transition from a school to a company where you're told what to do. This leads us to trust and hand things off to the government and the rich bankers who handle our 401ks, IRAs, etc. The rich use education to make themselves richer and keep you poor. And when you realize that, it's not hard to see why good grades don't translate into a good life. Even worse, the rich become richer off of selling you the higher education scam. The costs for a higher education is among the fastest rising costs in American society today. Since 1980, tuition costs at public universities have risen from $2,000 to $30,000, a jump of 1,500%. By comparison, food and electricity costs have risen about 150%, and gasoline prices have risen more than 200% over the same period of time. As a result of the skyrocketing costs of higher education, student loan debt has soared from $260 billion in 2004 to $2 trillion in 2022. And the number of people over 60 with student loan debt has quadrupled in the last decade from 700,000 to 2.8 million. This is one of the ultimate strategies of the rich, to spread the scam-like belief that education is necessary to be successful and rich. In turn, this drives up the costs for that education, and they then profit off the loans they give you to attain that useless education. What a scam! While I can also deny the benefits education has brought, including medical innovations, food security, faster transport, and many more. Remember, we are a financial channel and we are looking at this from a financial perspective only. For instance, if it's my desire to gain a lot of book knowledge and be a good employee, I can gain those valuable skills and insights with a higher education. However, if it is my desire to learn how to start a business, invest like a pro, and grow my money, I will not learn that in college. It is not the right context for that education. For that, I need to find other teachers and mentors. One context gives book smarts, the other context gives financial smarts. 2. Taxes are made for employees. Warren Buffett wrote a clause in the New York Times about his 2010 federal tax rate of 17.4%, compared to 36% on average paid by the 20 other workers in his office in August 2011. Him and all other billionaires pay a lesser percentage in taxes than even doctors and engineers. No matter how much money educated people make, the government has a right to seize it accordingly.